Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. I know there are many like me who are still basking in the warm, exuberant glow of our celebration of 50 years being a spiritual community. What a fun party last night. Thank you, Rob Ekman, and all those involved in putting on such a great program. It was so much fun. I only have one regret, and that is that I didn't get to talk to everybody. There were so many pictures scattered on the table too that just stirred up all kinds of memories. Anyway, as anyone who gets to 50 years old, we're going to celebrate more than just one day. You know, we're just going to keep it going, and that includes today. We have just a marvelous service. I'm so grateful to have such dear friends visiting from out of town, and we have our dear friend Rev Lynne Heygster giving a message today. Yeah. And my favorite fiddler of all time, joining us in the music and some special music. That's Mary Otterstrom, and we're just going to dig right in, put a smile on your face, and let's sing together.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. How deeply you're connected to my soul. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, open your eyes and see. We can all know everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now.
Happy Sunday from the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of being a spiritual center right here in Salt Lake City. My name is Linda Brewer, and I welcome all of you who are here with us and all of those who are home recovering from the picnic and love streaming us. Wherever you are, we're just so glad to have you with us. You are why we're up here and why we do this every week. So thank you so very much. And as a personal aside, thank you for all your prayers. I'm healing wonderfully. Our practitioner, thank you. Our practitioner sharing a reading and leading us in prayer this morning is Selena Baugh. And our practitioner holding high watch is our brand new practitioner, Hildreth Ferris. Throughout this service, Hildreth will be in prayer for us, knowing that the very best and highest consciousness is here with us and that we are all enfolded in part of it. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. So each month at our ministry council meeting, we always say together our vision, our purpose, and our mission statements. And at our meeting last week, we decided that it was time to replace saying our purpose statement here every week, and to start right now saying our vision statement each week so that we're all aware of what our vision is. Later on, we'll move on to doing the mission statement together. So while the actual statement begins with the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living is, we're going to use the word we instead as a way for all of us to take ownership of our vision. So please join me as we say together for the first time our vision statement. We are a thriving community where individually and together we embody and express our spiritual magnificence for the highest good of all. Thank you. Wasn't that lovely? So I want to remind you, as I always do, that the one place 24/7 you can find out what's happening is on our website, www.spirituallyfree.org. It's the best way to get in touch with us, put in a prayer request, see what's happening, and anything else that you want to know about our history and all that kind of stuff. It's right there. So if you are visiting us for the first time today, if you're visiting us for the first time tomorrow, sorry you're a day late, but if you're visiting us for the first time today and you're willing to let us know about that, would you just raise your hand so we can welcome you? Do we have anybody out there? I can't see out there. Yo, okay, over here. Yay! Welcome. We're so glad to have you with us, and we just know that something you experienced today is a blessing for you today. So I hope you'll come back soon. Our theme for this month is a pause for guidance, and I'm so incredibly happy that our speaker this morning, who came all the way from Texas with her husband Bob to join us for our 50th anniversary celebration, is our dear Rev Lynne Heygster. Her topic today is Rise and Reemerge, and I can't wait to hear what she has to share with us. Next week, while many of you will be at Big Sky, we will welcome back via video Reverend Sunshine Day. Reverend Myrna and company, by that I mean music and so forth, and all the other people that help with that, we'll be offering our next Taizé service on Wednesday, September 8th at 6:30 right here in this very room. And because Taizé is such an experiential service, it is not going to be offered online. So if you love Taizé and you want to sing and chant and meditate and pray, as so many of us love to do, please plan to be here in person that Wednesday night at 6:30. And I am told, I was very regretful not to join yesterday, but I sort of crash at 4 o'clock these days, but I heard it was an absolute wonderful time at the picnic yesterday, and I want to acknowledge Rob Ekman, who headed up that group and made it all happen, and I don't think he made it. Rob, are you here? If so, yes, there he is. Can we see this? Thank you. Everybody gets a fan. Whew. Okay, good. I'm verklempt. I need this. All right, Rob, I am so grateful for the way you stepped up and guided the team to create such a great experience. I also want to acknowledge all of you who shared photos from years gone by. Raj, Rob, and Dan sorted through all of them, and Dan Fondrich, God love him, took them all and created the fabulous slideshow that was shown. Yeah. And I am very hopeful that we're going to be able to get that up on YouTube soon and on our website with a link on the website so that those of us who missed it can have a chance to see it, and those of you who did see it probably would love to see it again. And right now I want to invite everyone, because I know a whole lot of people were on Rob's committee and helped put this together, and the music and the dancing. So everybody who helped yesterday, would you stand up and let us thank you? Come on, don't be shy. Thank you. What a wonderful way for us to celebrate our 50th anniversary. And as Rick said, we continue to celebrate. Because if there's one thing this group knows how to do, it's party. So, change of pace for a moment. I remind you, as I always do, that our center was founded on and is grounded in prayer. And we have a team of professional prayer practitioners who are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. And they are here to help you in any way to know the truth for you when you can't know it for yourself, to share your joy with you, to hug the stuffing out of you if that's what you need. You can put a prayer request in on our prayer box out in the lobby. You can put one in on the website. We hope to be back doing the wall of prayer soon, but COVID just keeps getting in the way. So if you want a prayer, you can also grab a practitioner after the service if you want one in person. So right now, I invite you to settle in and allow Selena's reading and the sacred music to take you to that deep place that is within each one of us, and then Selena will lead us in prayer.
So our reading this morning is from a great book called The Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. And the title of this reading is Between Peace and Joy. And it starts with this great quote from James Taylor. We could never have guessed we were already blessed where we are. This reminds me of a woman who found a folded sponge all dried and compressed. And tucked inside the hardened fold was a message she had been seeking. She carried the hardened sponge to the sea and up to her waist in the deep. She watched it unfold and come to life in the water. Magically, the secret of life became visible in the bubbles being released. And to her amazement, a small fish trapped in sleep in the hardened sponge came alive and swam out to sea. From that day on, no matter where she went, she felt the little fish swimming in the deep, and this, the swimming of the little fish that had for so long been asleep, gave her a satisfaction that was somewhere between peace and joy. Whatever our path, whatever the color or grain of our days, whatever riddles we must solve to stay alive, the secret of life somehow always has to do with awakening and freeing of what has been asleep. Like that sponge, our very heart begs to unfold in the waters of our experience. And like that little fish, The soul is a tiny thing that brings us peace and joy when we let it swim. But everything remains hard and compressed and illegible until, like this woman, waist deep in the ocean, we take our sleeping heart in our hands and plunge it tenderly into the life we are living.
Into the presence would I enter now, for I am surrounded by the love of God. Let me be still and listen to the truth. Let every voice but God's be still in me. Let me remember I am one with God. Peace to all others, they are one with me. Let me remember what my purpose is. Let all the world have love and peace with me. Let all the world have love and peace through me.
So in this moment, I recognize that one presence, that one power that moves in and through all of life, expressing as absolute intelligence, divine right action, love and compassion and joy. And just as I recognize these truths of the divine, I know that I am one with that. Just as I know that same truth for each person here, for all of creation. We are one with that greater yet to be, that wholeness, that love, that joy, that intelligence, that strength. That is the truth of our being. And resting assured in that knowing, I know that as we allow the promptings of spirit, that divine urge to surface within us, that all we need to bring it fully into expression is at our very fingertips. If we have that urge, all that we need will be supplied. And so I invite you to bring that into your mind and into your heart, knowing that you are loved and fully supported in the dreams of your heart, in that calling that just keeps calling. I rest in this truth with joy and love for each person here, and much gratitude for this teaching, for the service to follow, for Reverend Lynne's wise words and this beautiful music, for the companionship with my community. I am truly blessed, and I know it. So I just release this word. It's spoken, therefore it's done. As together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Selena. Wow, a quote from James Taylor. How about that? Definitely a seer and an amazing songwriter. Thanks for sharing that. Well, I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. It was so fun to end the evening last night with dancing. And we were a little bit naughty about it because at Murray Park we're not allowed to have amplified music, at least too loud, but we ignored it. And it was fantastic just to see everybody just kind of give into the music and dance, celebration. I hope you dance. Let's sing along.
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never fear those mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. When you come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the heavens above more than just a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. 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 Just dance.
Isn't that awesome with fiddle?
It's my pleasure to have some very special music join us today. Mary Otterstrom on violin, and she brought along a friend, Jimmy Ingold, playing guitar. I'm so excited to hear this little duo thing. So let's welcome Mary Otterstrom.
Oh, it is so good to see so many of you here. You know,
I've been here a few times during COVID, and I've loved seeing everyone who could be here. But to see so many people in this room feels so good.
Yeah.
It just feels so right. And I always feel so welcome when I come, and I'm so glad to introduce you to Jimmy today. We're going to play a tune called Ukpik Waltz. It's one of my favorite waltzes, and Ukpik is actually the Inuit word for snowy owl. And I just love that, you know. You think about all the wonders of nature and the joy that a beautiful little snowy owl can bring to our hearts.
I'm so glad you're back here. And thanks for bringing Jimmy. Okay, I'm so excited. So for some of you here, our speaker, Rev Lynne Heygster, needs almost no introduction because we were blessed to have her serve our center as our assistant minister for almost 2 years, until June of 2018, when her husband, Bob, would you stand, please? Turn around, face the group. You could even pull your mask down for a minute so they can really see your face. So he dragged her to Texas. Your job, should you choose to accept it, is to talk to Bob about how wonderful it would be to live in Salt Lake City again. Got it, everybody? Okay. Reverend Lynne has been involved with some form of metaphysics and New Thought since her early teens, which were just a couple years ago. And she has been a member of the Science of Mind community since 2002, starting right here at our center. She licensed the hard way online like Hildreth did as a practitioner in 2008, and she graduated from the Home School of Spiritual Leadership as a minister in 2016 when we were blessed to have her come back to our center and serve us. As much as anyone I have ever known, Reverend Lynne lives the Science of Mind philosophy, and she truly understands the power of spiritual mind treatment, visioning, and meditation as tools to change lives. She's a testament to how that works. She is currently the Associate Minister for InnerJourney.org, a teaching chapter, And as of August 1st, she is the new senior minister for CSL Tulsa. She's also my dear friend. We can steal her. And we are so very blessed to have her back here with us. Please give a warm, warm welcome home to Rev Lynne Heygster.
Well, hello. It is so good to be home. I would like to begin first by just taking a breath together. We're connected by the breath. And if you will do this with me, I've just missed you and this place so much. I'd like you to drop into your heart with me and just say quietly to yourself, hello, I love you. And then say it to your neighbor and to me. Thank you for doing that with me. I've been deepening my understanding and my work with the Ho'oponopono, which has taken me years to learn how to pronounce, but it teaches me what it means to say, I love you. And so I greet people that way now in my heart. I'd like to give first, just to extend a little gratitude to Reverend Marie Kirkland for her suggestion for the title today through the global themes from Home Office. I like to do that each time I speak because it's a community effort. And then I just want to say, Bob and I had so much fun at the party last night, the celebration of so many years of service for this center that has birthed so many wonderful practitioners and ministers that serve this community and serve around this country. And I am so honored to be one of them because this has changed my life. And it was just so fun. The food, you guys, nobody makes food like you guys, and a lot of it. And so it was great. So just thank you. It was good. Okay, so here we are today. Our topic, Rise and Reemerge. If you have been following along with the topics over this past month, we've talked about coming now at the end of August being restored, integrated, a little polished, and self-care, and you've danced for joy more than once. I've watched you, and hopefully you've evolved as intended, and maybe even a little bit more than you thought. And it has been powerful. It's been very powerful for me. This is my fourth Sunday speaking these topics, and so it's really integrated within me. You get to hear the messages each Sunday, and your body and even your conscious and subconscious gets to decide for your highest good how it's integrating within you. And actually, you get to decide with a little free will also. But you take that in and you grow with it. Those of us who dive deep into the many resources to bring you this information, well, it sits with us in a lot of different places because we are actually digesting it. And at times we're also sitting in that meditative space, really asking what wants to come through, what wants to show up. And I share this because it turned out to be very fun and interesting for me. It was a little busy, but it was very good. And I show up here today renewed, a little more educated, and I'll be resting in 2 weeks. It's working week after week for recently. Bob and I are going to the beach in 2 weeks in Pensacola, so I will be resting at that point. Science of Mind text reminds us that perfect trust in God within is the secret to relaxation, rest, and renewal. When we have that perfect trust in knowing in spirit within, we are in that zone. We are lifted up. And I have been lifted up this month. Through each of these messages, I got to look at myself and ask those questions and really admit, am I taking care of me? Am I practicing what I preach? Am I open and in that zone to allow that creative mind of God to really spark that imagination for joy, for each thing that I want to say and do in my life? And then how am I showing up? Because if we don't take care of ourselves first, we don't have anything to support others. So through the topics of the past weeks, it's been intended and hoped that we have gained a lot more self-awareness, we've become more spiritually aligned, and even gained a better understanding of spiritual discernment. I've asked Raj to show a picture for us that I thought was kind of to the point today. We all love Calvin and Hobbes, and he has an important message. We seem to understand the value of oil, timber, minerals, and housing, but do we value that beauty within, spiritual renewal and solitude, that silence when we talk about that? What's really the most important? Thank you. So this month was a good theme for me, a good time for me to look at my self-awareness. Through the teaching and practice of Science of Mind, we intend to hope that you will grasp a growing understanding of the self-awareness, that it's a practice that reveals our alignment with each of our Science of Mind principles. It's the practice of being conscious of our motivations, our internal dialogue, and our hidden beliefs. And we learn that in Foundations class, don't we? That's one of the primary things in the very beginning of Foundations. And it's a willingness to observe and take responsibility for our internal, our external choices. Self-awareness is the foundation of conscious choice for all things in our life. Self-awareness also keeps us in check with our humanity and our connection to life. Both Ernest Holmes and Joel Goldsmith say that God is life, and they write quite extensively about it. So I recognize that I am one with life. I'm in that connection of life. The law of divine oneness states that we are all connected through creation. Every single atom inside of you and me is connected in some way, shape, or form to the rest of the universe that you move through. That's from Novella Wilder. That's pretty big. Our atoms are exchanging. This means that everything we do has a ripple effect and impacts the collective, not just ourselves. So for the purpose of self-awareness and our conscious interaction in the world, we might call upon this principle to simply remember that our actions matter. Our actions, our reactions, and our behaviors make a difference in the world. With a growing self-awareness of what I am, I want to continually ask the question for myself, what's my part in every interaction? What's my part in my relationships? And holy smokes, if my atoms are moving around and interacting with everything in my universe, what action can I take to make a difference for good? So what if the first step is really honestly just recognizing that God is within, and that helps us heal? And that takes care of us. That God source within first. And then that allows us to take that healing and that vibration of what we are and move that into the world around us. It becomes our light and the vibration of the field. And we use that and share it with the world. We share our light, our vibration that's lifted up in that I am one with life, God is life. In doing this healing work, we become aware of the things that just don't work for us anymore, and we can choose through our free will to let all of that go that doesn't serve us anymore. We can let go of the old parts of ourselves, and we can heal the parts within us that we know can help us grow and help us be a better human. Through the healing work, you may find that something opens up in your psyche that would let go of anything that makes us think that we are any part of division or isolation or separate from God or any other person. It's an empty space where actually we may start to wonder, what do I do now? I've always let everything around me prompt my reactions and my thinking about what I do in the world. Well, what if we do nothing? We find that open space and we do nothing. We sit in the silence and in patience, and we watch what happens. This is where the artist's canvas within us opens up, and it's blank. This is where your GPS, that internal guidance system, allows you to free move and guides you what's in your best interest and where you can go, but it's all within. This is where you find parts of yourself that you haven't been able to take the time to see before, and you find yourself totally renewed. You can discover in this empty space actually how creative you are, how intelligent you are, and how creative and how strong you are. When things aren't laid out before you in a perfect alignment, you get to choose who you're going to be at that point. Ernest Holmes from How to Change Your Life says, spiritual growth is the essence and the beautiful action of life itself. This is eminently important, and it is the ultimate reward which reflects your abilities and your activities in daily living. So taking care of business within ourselves first, and then re-emerging from your cocoon sets the bar high for a new vision of yourself as a human being. And when we're being an example of that kind of spiritual growth and healing, people start co-creating together without even realizing it. Well, now we're in an opportunity to come in touch with our personal spiritual alignment. It's a new path of action for us. But we may feel like it's a place of non-action at first, right? I said because where you are, you're sitting in that silence, that empty space. You're sitting in patience. It's a place of not knowing what to do and where to go because it feels different in your physical body. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this place where the mind wants to go, but the body doesn't like the feeling because you're out of your comfort zone. It's a place it doesn't recognize as normal. Life becomes different. It's also a brain chemistry. You have a memory of comfort, of always knowing what's going to happen and what you're going to do. It's your old identity. The mind and the imagination may want to grow and expand and go, but the body just hasn't caught up with that idea yet. So the old self and the old identity starts to begin to feel better, simply for the reason because we knew what it was. But as Einstein said, you can't solve a problem with the same mind that created it, right? So you cannot change your life with the old mind and the old patterns that you have. So this is the point where we might want to return to the old ways, but stay with it. Change your thinking, change your life is a real thing. And it takes us a lot of self-awareness and a lot of self-love. This is the place of the unknown and the discomfort, the new, the empty, the place where Joe Dispenza says that they've done research on that this is the place where miracles happen, in this place of nothing. Healing happens, manifestation happens, inventions happen in this empty space, and the change that you are wanting to create for yourself. If you can imagine this image in your mind, the spiritual alignment that you're seeking, play it out in your imagination, rehearse it. What do you want to look like? What does it feel like? What do you want to be in the world? And you remember that while you're doing that, you're creating new neurons and all the new brain chemistry. Dispenza said that those neurons that wire together, fire together, right? Dr. Dispenza also says that because you're in this place of no thing, this is the space of spiritual flow and creation. Even he says, this is the law. And that's God in action in you. How wonderful is that? It feels a little different, but that's the place to be. Yeah. So, spiritual discernment begins with you and starts to grow in you at some point. Spiritual clarity and good judgment. Now, wouldn't that be a great thing to have all the time? Yeah. Recognizing the desire for healing brings us to awareness. Awareness then brings us to spiritual alignment. And being in alignment with spirit brings us to oneness and our understanding of our place in humanity. And that starts to open up the mind to service. How can I serve in the world? Is there something that I can bring? Is there something I'm supposed to be doing? How do I know how to find this out? How do I discern where my highest good, my strength, and my gifts can serve in the world? I think for sure more people go into that place of the questions than those who kind of wake up with it one day. I'd like to be one of those people, but I work at it. So we have a wonderful quote from Thomas Kelly, A Testament of Devotion. How then shall we lay hold of the life and power and live the life of prayer without ceasing? By quiet, persistent practice in turning of our being day and night, in prayer and inward worship and surrender toward him who calls in the deeps of our soul. We find the answers, part of our spiritual growth, to that connection to God and the source within. But how do we tap into that source? Surrendering. Yep, letting go of the weight of our fears. We don't know what fears look like and feel like really intellectually all the time, and they can weigh us down. These weights are like an onion wrapped around us in layers. And surrendering is an interesting word for some people. We are not giving ourselves over to something. We are surrendering into spirit, into our growth, and into our expansion in this particular context. In one way, some say the only way to connect with God and the source within is to unravel these fears. We do our shadow work. Now, that's a lot of fun, but shadow work is such a gift. It has become a daily part of my meditation practice, and I'm amazed of the things that come up that I have forgotten. If I ask to show me what I've been afraid to see, I'm amazed how things will pop up into my mind very gently during the day, and I can go into a forgiveness about them, or an understanding and an integration, and love myself because it was all oneness. So that's an important part of that. Shadow work is surrendering into the internal support and facing each fear, the past, and the situations that we've not wanted to face. It's a beautiful thing, believe it or not. And in this process, we are healing, we are integrating those things that feed our fears when stuff keeps coming at us. It's important and leads us on a path to integration into oneness. We are bombarded with signals that feed our fears all the time without knowing it. Most of it is actually subliminal. And if we're on our TVs and on our phones, we're getting it through the news, we're getting it through movies, we're getting it through TV shows, where a lot of that is looked at as entertainment, but subliminally they are feeding fears within us. And sometimes even life in general can be scary, as I talked about previously about going into a place that we don't recognize anymore. But that's not really fear. That is anticipation of the unknown, but that can be not such a bad thing. The fears I talk about are the kinds of fears that inhibit our truth of love and the God source, and fears that sometimes paralyze us. And currently that may be COVID, or how the world appears to be kind of bubbling up at the moment and exploding. But above that, beyond that, behind that, everything is spirit. And you might say, well, shucks, or in Salt Lake lingo, what the heck? How can you say God is actually behind or above and back of all of this? How can that be the divine? Because ultimately, at the top of the apex, it is only God, only source. It is our unknowing, our not really remembering, our training to always see first the things that scare us and hold us back. We've had centuries and even lifetimes of training to see the worst things first, and that builds the emotion, the reaction, the feelings that start to build the path ahead that may lead us away from God. So what do? Well, we keep ourselves in the information that the divine is always present. It's always waiting for us to use our free will of choice to turn from those things that create fear within us. Folks, I want to remind you of the law of correspondence that is always watching. If we are feeling it, if we are sending it out, it feeds the fire around us in those fears, and then it comes back to us. It's that beautiful spiritual boomerang, right? The law of correspondence. So we turn our attention to God, to the divine. Is that spiritual bypass, somebody might ask? I say no, it is not. We're not ignoring what's going on. We are remembering the God within, and we are remembering that God is a part of every single thing. So we sit in the light, and we sit in the love and the wholeness and the healing of God, and we send that out to others, to other parts of the world. We send that out to everything going on. And in that process, in return, we can dim the fear, we can dispel the fear, and ultimately, eventually, the fear goes out, especially within ourselves. So, as I said earlier, healing in spiritual awareness allows our vibration and our light to move into the world around us. And from there, we rise up. And when one rises up, others follow. So let your faith in this process be stronger than your fear. Ernest Holmes instructs us that Faith is a mental attitude which is so convinced of its own idea, which so completely accepts it that any contradiction is unthinkable and impossible. Let your faith be stronger than any fear, especially more so with how the world appears today. Let me tell you a little story. During the time between my graduation from ministerial school, the summer of 2016, and finally completing ordination this summer, that whole process, I moved through each of these stages. I went through awareness, alignment, and discernment without really recognizing it. Sometimes we do it consciously, we get that call within to grow, and we make those changes. Sometimes it happens organically, unintentionally, quietly, and we don't recognize it until we're through it. With the move from here to Texas, changes in family time and attention, and being in a location that didn't offer a center that was close to me, it caused me to look within. And I went through all those questions. Well, what now? Because I feel like a blank. I'm empty. I was forced to see the places inside of me that still needed healing and hugging just from myself. I would not have experienced that if I had been kept busy, that's for sure. I wouldn't have taken the time to see my weaknesses, and I would not have taken the time to really experience the strengths within me that I didn't know that I had. We kind of blindly go through our day sometimes with what we know we work with, but there's so much within us that we don't realize until we take the time to look at it. And I had to write about it. I had to create reports for home office for what I was up to. I had to write about those secrets that were deep within my own psyche and be humble about it, because the path that I had laid out for myself didn't happen. And I felt out of control about that. So I couldn't work around the questions they were asking me. There's particular forms we have to fill out when you're a new minister, you're fledgling around and you're not working, and they want to know all about you. I had a wonderful mentor minister, she was an angel, who guided me to understand that I was ministering to myself at that time. I was ministering to my family, and even with some health issues. And so I was able to turn within and realize what I had done, because we don't see that reflection of ourselves a lot of time. And that's what I wrote about, and I learned so much about my journey. That span of time turned out to be nothing as I expected or planned, but hindsight is 20/20, isn't it? I grew so much in that time. These past 5 years, I came through all of the awarenesses. I have realigned. I have connected with Spirit in a way that I didn't know that I could. I didn't know was possible. And I know that there's so much more because it is multidimensional. It's big. And here I am now working with 2 wonderful centers in different capacities, sometimes present and sometimes virtual, and it is beautiful. So here I am. And as I went through this process, I didn't see the good it was doing then, and I didn't know what I would become, but I see it now for everything that it was, every step along the way. I deepened my strength in spiritual practice. I discovered new ways to recognize how God and Spirit shows up in me and in the world, which I hadn't quite noticed before. And I learned to realize that in God, all things are possible. In God, there are also 2 sides to every coin, and we get to decide which side of the coin we're going to choose. So I have always said I would stretch the envelope, and I said that on stage before I left. I stretch the envelope as much as I can every day, and I choose the gift no matter what it looks like, because when you do that, God shows up in that. In God, I am in the world, but not of it, allowing my light in the highest good vibration that I have, which is the God thing that works through me, to be what I experience and present to the world in healing for the best that it can do. So in conclusion, as each of us continue on our journey, the wisdom, the vision, the love of the God source invites us to pause for guidance, to pause for play, to pause for allowing that spark of imagination to fill us and come into renewal before we move to the next leg of our journey. During the pause, we take time to tune up, enjoy all of that, and be the best we can be. Find that perfect new human that we are, have always been, recognize what we've always been and what we're doing in the moment, and take that forward. I know that some of us are re-emerging every morning, every day with our spiritual practice, and we allow that GPS to guide us for every step. I know that we have developed our self-awareness to better know ourselves. We've moved more spiritually aligned, and our spiritual discernment is so active at this point. And we know that through this, we are so much better aligned consciously with God because it never left. It was waiting for us to see that. And that's good. So don't let it stop. Let it continue. Find a place this week to gift yourself with the time to be aware, aligned, and renewed. Yeah. So let's take a breath together, one breath, for it is that breath that connects us. And let's take that into prayer. So I know right here, right now, in this place there is only that of love, of light, of spirit, of truth. I know it is that presence, that expression, that love, that golden light that moves through each and everything that is, for it is that which has made all of this out of itself. It is the one that expresses itself always, in every way. Its center is here, its circumference is here, it is all and everything. Allowing each individual that it has created to come into their own knowing of awareness, alignment, and discernment, as each person is moved and guided along their path, accepting the good in every step. And with each step that is taken, a more of a path is laid out before them, all in good. All in growth and expansion of what every life can be. I give thanks for this word. I give thanks for knowing that I am never alone in this universe, knowing that the atom of everything and everyone that has ever existed, even that of Ernest Holmes, speaks through me and guides me in every prayer and every truth that I take into my presence. It is that notion, that mind of God, that is my mind, the eyes of God, my eyes, and I know that I see and hear and listen to that message every day as I sit in the silence to rediscover who I am, for every day is a new day. And I breathe. I relax. I take that time in the silence to remember and ask Source within to guide me. What am I today? What can I remember to forgive and integrate and love of myself today? And where can I go? Oh, the places will go. I know that this is a gift. This moment is a gift, and this life is a gift. And I know for each individual in this room, in this space, everyone listening online, and in this world, there is that good that lives, that spark of life within them. And that waits for every opportunity to expand so that each individual can shine their light and be that expression of love to heal the world. For it's stronger than we know. And so I give thanks for that. I give thanks for the moment. I give thanks for the word. I give thanks to every spiritual guide, minister, rabbi, priest, all enlightened that help this world in this moment to grow and expand and be love, be light, be harmony, be the world that works for all. And I release this word into the law, into the field, into that quantum knowing that only says yes. And I let it be, knowing that together we agree and say, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
It is now time for our conscious giving, a spiritual practice recognizing the oneness in, as, and through all, allowing the law of circulation to be fulfilled through our lives, the spiritual center, and beyond. We practice giving and receiving as a conscious choice. We choose to give and be open to the flow with an attitude of abundance, knowing that the abundance and fullness of the God source is always available to us because it is always already within us. We give loving thanks to this gift by automatic renewal. We give loving thanks to your gift by automatic withdrawal, text to give, or through our website, spirituallyfree.org. I now invite you to bring your hands to your heart with your gift, or if it is virtual, just your hands, knowing that your gift is right here while we speak our giving affirmation together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be, and so it is.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. I've been set free, I'm released. I've been set free, I'm released. The burden of my past has gone away at last. I've been set free, I'm released. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me.
Let's hear some more beautiful music from Mary Otterstrom and Jimmy.
Well, when I think of what to play here, I always feel like I need to play something fun because that's so much a part of the Spiritual Living Center, right? About joy and fun, and you know that's a huge part of living a happy spiritual life. And this is a tune, it's all just about fun. This is called the Cotton Patch Rag. And I hope you'll just relax into it and enjoy yourself. Let your toes tap if they want.
Okay, I want to hear a big yee-haw! Extraordinary. That's so fun. Have ourselves a shindig.
I knew you could get into that, Rick.
Oh, what a beautiful day. Thank you, Reverend Lynne, for a powerful, wonderful message. Thank you. Wow. How lucky we are to have you come all the way up from Texas and share your power and glory with us. Thank you. And thank you, Mary and Jimmy. Wonderful music. Yeah. And let's keep this celebration going. I hear there's plenty of food left over. So I was, Drew whispered in my ear, said, please tell everybody there's sandwiches and chips out there. There's no excuse for you to go home hungry. So enjoy some food, enjoy each other, and have a blessed week and a blessed day. And thank you for those who have traveled such a long way to be with us this weekend. We're certainly honored by your presence and sacrifice. And I hope you feel the warmth in our hearts for making that effort and being a part of our celebration. Let's sing together our silly closing song. Always look on the bright side of life. When things in life seem bad and sometimes make you mad, when people seem to try to be a pest, when you're chewing on life's gristle, don't grumble, give a whistle. Yeah. And this will help things turn out for the best. Everybody, always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. If life seems kind of rotten, there's just something you've forgotten, and that's to smile and laugh and dance and sing. And when you're feeling blue, start looking for a clue, then purse your lips and whistle. That's the thing. Oh.